So this is a question for Roosie, and it relates to, I think, the '06 Grand Final, O'Loughlin v Chick in the last quarter, which I thought was an epic battle. But I was just interested, as it relates to game plan, what you were thinking in that box in that last quarter, because it seemed to me that clash really made that game.
05 or 06?
Oh, sorry, the one that the West Coast won.
Yeah, 06.
06, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like Robert was saying. I mean, probably the more relevant thing to talk about then is the two games, 05, and the night before the grand final, I promised the team that they would win. And I only said that because I knew we had the strategy, I knew we had the personnel, and I knew if we implemented the plan the whole time, we would win the game. So you can't get caught up necessarily in the little battles that are going on. You know, the little things that are happening in the market, the news, you know, et cetera, because there's some things that I can control. I can't control whether Leo Barry drops that mark or takes that mark, can I? So that's not controllable. If that ball goes to ground, we probably lose that game. So what you're trying to do is build a game style. And I said to him the night before, so if we can play the way we did all year, I guarantee you'll win the game. Three-quarter time, I just reiterated that and said, guys, we've got another quarter to go. We will win the game. I said that before the game. If we keep doing the things that we do, we will 100% win this game of football. And by that, it's around the strategy, where you stand at stoppages, what players are capable of doing, all those roles you have to play. If we do that, we will win. Fast forward to 2006, I think we were about 30 points down at half-time. They were playing really well. Obviously got some great players. Probably had more talent than what we did. And it's in those moments, I reckon, Jim, that's that media moment. That's the ice cream diet moment. That's the what is it? High return, low risk. Yeah. That's the high return, low risk moment where everyone in the rooms is running around going, what do we do? 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 And in those moments, they're the defining moments as a coach for me. Because what I see in those moments for a lot of coaches, it's, I know we've done this so well for so long, but we can't do it because we're 30 points down. So let's try this, and this. And what ends up happening then, invariably, you lose by 70 points. And I think it was Peter Jonas or one of the assistant coaches. You can imagine the noise at halftime in a grand final. You know, there's 60 minutes to go and, you know, you can only imagine what that environment's look like. And then someone had said, well, hang on, guys, we're just not doing the things that we actually said we should do. And it was sort of like, we probably know that, but for someone to say it in the heat of the battle when the share market's plummeting and everything's going to shit. And then we said, righto, guys, we brought the players in. We said, guys, we need to tackle better. You need to do this better. Isn't that the stuff we talked about before the game? Yeah, it is. Well, it's not going to change at halftime in a grand final just because we're 30 points down. So then those little things within a game, they're the little sort of battles that often I can't control. So I don't generally worry about those things unless it's something that, yeah, unless it's completely out of control. But I think Mickey the year before was missing goals and kicking points, and you know. What I did, and this is really valuable, I think, and I'll just touch on it. At the end of my coaching career, playing career, I wrote down 25 points, what it was like to be a player. I never wanted to forget what it was like to be a player when I went into coaching. And I wrote them down. One of them is players don't mean to make mistakes. All right? A little simple reminder like that. I've never been in a game where a player deliberately kicked the ball out of bounds or deliberately kicked a point. All right? So in those moments, they're really key reminders because they stay you on the non-emotional course of that headline or whatever. Football coaches that no longer coach get caught up in media headlines and the boards do, and it is an emotional business and people get sacked. Pretty much all the most successful coaches in the last 20 years. Clarko was going to get sacked at one stage, Rossi Lyon was going to get sacked, Bomber Thompson was going to get sacked. There's a bloke called Andrew Demetriou said that Sydney played an ugly style, they could never win a premiership. 10 weeks later, we won a premiership. So they're the really key moments where you stick to your strategy, you stick to your plan, and they're hard to do because it's such an emotional business, whether it's investing or playing footy. But if you can do that, you know, and we end up losing the game, but we lost by 1 point, you know, and the year before we won by 4 points. And I think it just legitimised what we were as a footy club, that we were able to sustain a level of success over a long period of time, which is what we're all trying to do, really.